Good morning everyone. Here I have the Ioniq 6 rear wheel drive with the big battery, so 74 kilowatt hours, 228 horsepower I think rear wheel drive, and the 800 volt battery system, which is awesome, but not in the winter. We're doing a range test today at 130 kilometers an hour. It's extremely early. It's, what is it, 6:30 or so. It's really cold, -8 degrees here, which here in Bavaria is really cold, unusual. It's gonna be sunny later, but I have to do the test early because I want to do another test after that, and I want to be home for dinner. I preheated the battery at home. I preheated the car, and it showed me in the app that it's preheating the battery as well. And then I navigated here to Ioniq, but it didn't preheat the battery. I could see that in my, there's a instant power consumption, and the battery heating didn't do anything. That's why I plugged in. I got 60 kilowatt, and now at 63% I get 45 kilowatt. So it's hopefully heating up the battery right now. I cannot see that unless I would have OBD and I can know where the data is and everything. I'm not going to do that now. If it goes up to 130 kilowatt or so later, then we know it heated up the battery, because 35 kilowatt, that's not too much. As always, on the highway, 130, we drive around and come back to the other side, the other Ioniq. I want to arrive with 10 or less %, because also I want to see state of charge, how linear it is, because in my comparison with the ID.7 there was something weird. I want to see if the state of charge goes down linear, so the first 50% or 25% steps are similar. We'll see. I'm on my way. I'm driving 134 on the speedometer. That's 130 to 131 kilometers per hour. It was more leaning towards the 130. Consumption 279, but first 10 kilometers are uphill and the next 10 kilometers are downhill. So we have to see when we drive a bit more what we get. My heat setting is a driver only heat. So only my side is being heated to 23 degrees at fan speed 2, and it's not too warm with driver only. I noticed that I don't know, I'm a bit chilly on the other side, and when I drove to the charger I had driver only off. It felt better, but I'm gonna leave it in here. I'm not gonna be a pussy. It's 5 degrees outside, -5. When I started it was -10, but very fast it went up. And I have a tire pressure warning, which is weird because it says I have 2.4 bar in there at -5 degrees. I think that's fine. I'm guessing when we get a bit warmer it's 2.5. I just drove a few kilometers. I doubt that the tires are warmed up so fast. My heating is taking around 1.7, 1.6 kilowatt at the moment. Seat heater I have on 2, but the whole system with seat heater only takes 500 watt. This fine battery heater doesn't do anything. It didn't do anything, I guess, only when I was charging, because this number was lower when I drove to the charger. Since the charger didn't do anything. Oh God, it's bumpy here. And I'm not driving in eco mode because well, I could, that's true. Let's drive in eco mode because doesn't change anything, I don't think so. I have set the option off that the heating is being reduced in eco mode. I don't want that. I'm at 75% and I have drove 85 kilometers. I don't know. 85 kilometers would be 340 kilometers of full range. Consumption is 255. I will calculate in a second what battery capacity it will be, because I think it's more than the 74 kilowatt hours that it should show. Drive is amazing so far. Everything's fine. I can keep the speed, don't have to slow down at all. This is the perfect range test. This is what I want. I have to slow down. There's 130. Slow down, and I have to turn around very soon. I was right. If I take the kilometers and the average consumption right now, it would be 86 kilowatt hours. So state of charge is not linear. I was just at 50% and it was 159 kilometers, so 318. So it went down from 340 to 318, and the consumption didn't change too much, so it's really a not linear state of charge here. That's the problem. And I'm guessing that it will go down even more. Because still with this number, around 160 kilometers with 250 watt hours per kilometer is still 80 kilowatt hours usable energy from a battery. And again, it's 74, and I doubt that Hyundai is telling less than they have, because it's always great to say, hey, we have 80 kilowatt hours or more. My heating is still taking around 1.4 kilowatt. It is a bit better now since the sun is out. I'm not too cold. I feel that my legs on the side are a bit cold, but with the sun it's acceptable. I just turned around. I'm going back to the charger. It tells me 89 kilometers to the charger, and I have 122 kilometers of range. So 33 kilometers of margin. When I put it in the navigation, I had 40, so it's going down and down. So we'll see if I have to slow down at the end. I hope not. I hope we can keep that speed, because I hope we can get to the 300 kilometers, even though the consumption tells me otherwise. 253 watt hours per kilometer at the 74 kilowatt hours battery should not be 300 kilometers, should be a bit less. So 290, 285. We'll see. If I have to slow down, I slow down. That's how it is. Yes, how is it to drive the Ioniq 6 on a long distance trip? It drives comfortable, the suspension is nice, it's not too loud in here, it's not the quietest car, but it's fine. Sound system is good. I have all the data here that I need for driving. The self-steering is on the highway is good. On the country road it's not that amazing, but on the highway it's really good, and it recognizes my touch, maybe not as amazing as I would want to, but way better than most other cars. You can't see me when the sun is not there then. But that's how it is. Yes, what it can do amazingly well is the lane change, so self-steering, changing a lane. It takes a bit till it does it, 2-3 seconds when you tap the indicator, but then when it does it very nicely the way that I would want to do it. So that's top. I'm not navigating to the charger via the navigation system, because I think then the battery will be heated up and I don't want that, because then the consumption number on our range test here is all for nothing. It's all wrong numbers. I won't get amazing charging power then, but that's fine. I'm not doing a charging test with it. We already did that in the summer with this car. Yeah, the gasometer makes sense when you go with the state of charge. I drove almost 210 kilometers. I'm at 33%. That would mean I still have 105 kilometers to go, and that's exactly what my gasometer tells me. The question is the state of charge linear? And I don't think so. I think we're gonna have to slow down at the end. It's just what I think, because otherwise the battery capacity doesn't make any sense. Yeah, one thing that can be a bit annoying with the cruise control and the self-steering. So you have to activate the self-steering on the country road yourself. On the highway, it does it itself. So you do put the cruise control on and self-steering is on. But when you turn cruise control off, self-steering is still on. Doesn't matter if highway or country road, so we have to turn that off separately also. That's a bit annoying. Why this is not connected to each I mean, if you like to drive without cruise control but have the self-steering on, then this is amazing. And it's like, I like to have the option, but it would be nice if I can put in a navigation, hey, when I turn off on cruise control, self-steering should be off too, something like this. I was at 25% and it was 231 kilometers. I put the number here, would that be in full range? I have only 23 kilometers of margin now. I slowed down to 130. So from 134 to 130, because I don't want to go down to zero. Yes, that's fun. Consumption went down a bit. First of all, it's a bit downhill on the way back. Consumption is always better. And I slowed down. This video is supported by mach-e Autostrom. With mach-e you can charge at over 500,000 charging stalls all over Europe. And you have the same price at all DC charging stations and the same price at all AC charging stations. You can start your charging session with the card or with the app, and if you get power for your home from mach-e, you get reduced prices. 49 cents per kilowatt hour at AC charging stations, 59 cents per kilowatt hour at DC charging stations. And when you charge at Ioniq, like here, 75 cents per kilowatt hour. So thanks again to mach-e for sponsoring this video. Let's look what range and what charging speed we have. I arrived with 5%, drove 286.1 kilometers, and 249 watt-hours per kilometer is my consumption. So it was a good drive, except for the range meter that showed me more range than I had, and so I had to slow down, and I turned the heat down a bit as well. So that's why I arrived with 5% and what was it, 12 kilometers of range for 13. If I would have not slowed down and kept the heat, I think I would have arrived with 2%, and that's a bit risky, or maybe 3%, and 5 kilometers of range or something. We get 303 kilometers with the full range with the drive that I did. With a heat pump, yes, I will charge a bit, maybe to 90%, so 90% for sure, maybe even to 100%, and do 110 kilometers in our range test. That's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.